Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Bottom line is, when Joe Biden got elected, he said he wanted to fast track 4 million undocumented residents to full citizenship. Black people completely ignored it. I spoke on it. I said, do you know why he want to fast track 4 million? Because he know he not going to do nothing for us. We ain't going to be motivated to vote for him November. So what he's going to do is have these migrants already set up with citizenship so they can replace the black vote that he loses. The migrants are being put in our communities on purpose, New York and Chicago on purpose, because they are what? The two blackest cities in America. They're the two largest cities in America. They're the two most politically conscious black communities in America. So if we can wash out the black with the brown in New York, if we can wash out the black with the brown in Chicago, Philly don't stand a chance. Atlanta don't stand a chance. LA, Houston, Dallas, Detroit, Chicago don't stand a chance. The migrants are here for 3 reasons. Replace us at the polls, replace us at the low-end industry jobs.
So here's what we'll start with, that they are, ICE, targeting American citizens. And the latest example that they're using is this man in Minneapolis, taken out of his home, wearing only boxers, looks like a towel wrapped around his shoulder. I think he is a Hmong immigrant to the United States, but who is in fact an American citizen. What do you say to the facts of this case, Tom Homan?
Well, let's look at the facts of that case. So ICE was looking for 2 illegal aliens with criminal convictions. One, sexual assault of a child. The other one, domestic violence, to include obscenity and sexual assault. So both these people shouldn't be walking the streets of this nation. So ICE did a target enforcement operation, pulled over a vehicle that was licensed to one of these sexual predators. The driver of the car was identified as not being one of them. But his statement to the officer was, the guy you're looking for is at the house right now. I left it. I just left that house. So ICE went to the house where these 2 people reportedly living. And they went in there and they located this individual. This individual who matched the description, but they couldn't verify his identity because he was uncooperative. He failed to do a quick fingerprint check. He failed to do facial recognition. So ICE detained him till they found out who he was. And let's make it clear. ICE can detain a U.S. citizen if they have probable cause of this person may have committed a crime. Detainment, short detainment and questioning, all you need is reasonable suspicion. If they're going to actually arrest a person and charge them, they need probable cause.
I was going to say, Tom, you don't even need probable cause for a detention. You only need reasonable suspicion. On that note, Tom, I want to go straight to this social media post from someone named Kathy Young, who said that ICE is actually, while the stats don't tell the whole story, there are videos of ICE agents aggressively questioning people based on a foreign accent, demanding ID proof of citizenship, sometimes using physical force, twisting of arms when people refuse. This is sort of the story of ICE doing something horrific. Let's take that in 2 parts, Tom. There is a CNN video out from a year ago of ICE detaining someone based upon, in the ICE agent's own words, his accent. So is that ICE targeting an American citizen based upon their accent? Is that reasonable suspicion?
No, and we don't know if that's just one of many factors. Reasonable suspicion is based on a number of factors, right? A totality of the circumstances. It just can't be an accent. It just can't get an appearance. But what people don't realize, before that question occurred, what did that officer observe? Where were they? What
Right.
did he see before that? How long was he surveilling that person? What did the license plate come back to a known criminal investigation? So there's a lot of things that lead, as you know, Will, to reasonable suspicion. So we don't know what was in the officer's mind and what the totality of circumstances are. Again, if someone thinks ICE is acting improperly, there's an avenue you can pursue to hold that officer accountable. But to knowingly ignore a lawful command and assaulting an ICE officer isn't the answer. But we don't know what's in the officer's mind, but we don't know what totality of circumstance he had to question that person.
Right. A totality of circumstances that adds up to reasonable suspicion, which can, but not exclusively, include someone's accent. Tom, there has been this accusation. I can show you a clip from CNN last night that you're targeting American citizens. Let's listen together to Cameron Kasky last night on CNN.
Listen, you can't say illegals anymore because ICE is directly targeting legal citizens of this country. They are not just targeting illegal immigrants. They are targeting natural-born U.S. citizens.
They are not.
That is a fact. You cannot deny that.
Tom, two questions. Are you targeting natural-born American citizens? And you talked about, secondly, a detention. Detentions are short periods of time wherein you try to ascertain someone's identity. You have any idea what percentage of people you're detaining turn out to be American citizens?
Well, first, is ICE arresting U.S. citizens? ICE arrests U.S. citizens every day for trafficking and smuggling and drug distribution and weapons dealing. ICE enforces 400 laws and statutes. So, yeah, ICE do arrest, U.S. citizens. Are we targeting U.S. citizens as part of this immigration enforcement? Not unless you are protesters that crossed the line and committed impediment, interference, assault, so. To say we're targeting U.S. citizens for immigration enforcement, that's just false accusation. But U.S. citizens are arrested if they violate the law and violate one of the 400 statutes that ICE, enforces.
I'm telling y'all cannot hate CNN enough and the guesses they bring up. Luckily, though, we got Scott Jennings.
You listen to Scott and you listen to all this rhetoric coming out of the Republican Party. These are the same people that defended opening fire hoses on protesters in the 60s on the Selma Bridge. I mean, these are people who consistently
I think those were Democrats, Julie. Just FYI, those are Democrats. Those were Democrats in the 60s.
Scott,
So the incident that this goofy is talking about happened on the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama. March 7th, 1965, known as Bloody Sunday. It was supposed to be a march from Selma to Montgomery, the state capital. A march for voters' rights, that is. Now, this group happened to be a peaceful group of protesters. Now, the Alabama state troopers were instructed to use billy clubs, batons, bullwhips, tear gas, all types of shit on these protesters. Coincidentally, this goofy got it mixed up with a different one because no water was used in this one. And the goofiest part of it all was this was ordered by a Democrat Alabama governor named George Wallace. Now, not only was George Wallace a Democrat, but he was a segregationist. He also had known ties to the KKK and was known for pandering to the white supremacists at the time. That's why it's so ironic that this fucking goofy tried to use this and spin it as a Republican thing. But as we all probably know by now, the Democrat Party is the party of the KKK, the party of segregation, the party of slavery. And if you didn't know, go do your homework.
People like you
That was your party.
Exactly that kind of behavior.
But thank you for reminding everybody that Democrats were against civil rights.
How about this, Scott? Why don't you let me finish and stop interrupting? Because clearly, whenever anybody tries
You're
to
the one that brought
score a
up
point against you,
Democrats.
just
I
talk
agree
over
with you. Democrats
No,
shouldn't
Scott,
have
I
been
brought up the
against
fact
civil
that
rights.
you're the person. Well, there you go. How about this, Scott? Why don't you continue talking and I'll just sit here
All
and
right,
listen to
you know
Go
what,
ahead.
guys?
There y'all have it, man. When you wrong, don't ever admit you wrong. Just play the victim. Oh, okay, Scott, I'll just shut up and be a good girl while you sit here and talk. Now, what you wanted him to do was allow you to lie, allow you to spread misinformation, because the listeners are too lazy to go look that shit up. Not me, though. I went to go look that shit up. It took me 5 minutes. But this is the issue. Y'all will use Democrat incidents and squeeze them into the narrative to fit the right. It's fucking pitiful. And we know y'all game already. So always remember, a piece of bacon a day keeps Islam away. Love, peace, and bacon grease.
I'm going to try to make this video as calmly as possible. My name is Maisha Newton. My father's name was Walter Newton. He was the brother of Huey Percy Newton, who started the Black Panther Party in Oakland, California. Okay? My handle name is Maisha 415 Newton. I got birth certificate paperwork and a whole bunch of Newtons who are ready to Listen, this goes out to the Black Panther Party, the new United Black Panther Party, whoever's out there protesting with these Somalians. I'm about to get a cease and desist order against you, and I'm about to sue you because you guys are not going to defame my uncle's name like that. We're not doing that. See you in court, bitches.
I told y'all in 2026, I'm not holding my tongue no more. I'm so sick of seeing this dude on my timeline talking about some Black Panther Party. This is Paul Birdsong. Just a year and a half ago, this man was trying his hardest to get into the rap industry. He was a rapper. This man was wearing 2 gang-affiliated colors, calling himself a rapper, trying to make it in the rap scene.
What?
I don't trust no man that wears 2 different gang-affiliated colors. On top of that, he pops up after a Caucasian woman was struck fatally by an ICE agent. Now, I find that very ironic because where have y'all been for like the past, I don't know, 10, 12 years? And then he's out here telling people we should be holding ICE accountable. For what? For what? ICE has a job that is tasked to them by the President of the United States. I'm not getting in them folks' way. The task that they have or that they've been given has nothing to do with Black people or the Black community. That's nothing to do with us. We should not be out there interacting or trying to stop ICE from doing their job. They ain't got shit to do with us. If you really want to make an impact as the chairman of the Black Panther Party, go into Black neighborhoods. Let's start getting rid of these gangs. Let's start getting rid of the crime. Let's start giving people some jobs, opportunities, housing. You know, folks in the Black community, some of us, we ain't got food. Let's take care of the elders. Let's shape up the young minds of tomorrow. We have bigger fish to fry within our own community, but yet we're standing in front of federal agents telling other Black Americans we need to hold these people accountable for what they're doing in the community, though what they're doing has nothing to do with us. Safe race, repairs, safe price, praise. You go in front of the federal agents with a fully automatic shotgun if you want to. Y'all know how them folks get down. They ain't got no problem putting nobody on a t-shirt. This is just an embarrassment to our ancestors, to the originators of the Black Panther Party, to the community, to the elders. This is a pure embarrassment. Y'all got that much energy, but y'all won't go put it back in the community. Instead, we'll go to another community to defend that community when our own community is crippling at the foundation. So no, we ain't following that. No, we ain't jumping in front of no ICE agents with no automatic shotguns talking about how we gonna do this and that and hold them accountable. We ain't doing that. If y'all wanna go out there and play Power Ranger, y'all go out there and play Power Ranger in front of them folks. Black Americans, we need to take care of our own communities and not worry about what they got going on because they ain't got nothing to do with us. Remember the motto of 2026, we minding our business.
You know what needs to happen? Us Black people as a collective, we need to come to this current administration and everyone who is running for the Republican Party in the midterms, and we need to give them a mandate. See, here's the thing, guys. The American people on November 5th, 2024, we gave Donald Trump a mandate. He had a job to do. He had a list of shit he knew he had to do because if he did it, he knew his ass was going to be up shit creek without no fucking paddle. Okay? And guess what? He went in that motherfucker on January 20th, 2025, and he executed everything that he was voted to do. So the promises is real. What I'm saying, Black people, is we need to one time as a collective change our vote to Republican with the fucking mandate and see what they can do for us. We're fucked with the Democrats. Why not do one good change for midterms? We need to do something different, people.
It's really crazy to me when people don't know like basic historical facts supporting the party of the hooded people. And it's like, you know, they were founded by the Democratic Party, right? You do know the Republican Party was established as an anti-slavery party by Black men and abolitionists. You do know that the Republican Party gave us every single civil rights amendment and legislature that we have today, right? You do know that even up to 1964, the Republicans are responsible for breaking the filibuster that the Democrats initiated to block the Civil Rights Act of 1964. No? Okay. You do realize there is no party switch. Go look at the votes. So you do know that Black people traditionally have always been Republican. It's a party that was founded by Black men. They're responsible for legislation through Reconstruction. And again, for people that are going to say, oh, but the party switch, again, 1964, the Republicans broke the filibuster to give us the Civil Rights Act of 1964. The hooded people were Democrats. Joe Biden was best friends with Robert Byrd, a known man who used to wear a white hood. I don't know why we have this revisionist history. I even saw a page where there were a lot of, it was predominantly Black Americans having a chat, and they were all like, yeah, we're conservative. We've always been conservative. I'm like, okay, now you're getting somewhere. Our grandparents, our parents, all conservative. And when I say conservative, I mean just like traditional values, predominantly Christian values, like family values, family, God, country. Preserving traditional values, okay? Traditional Christian values is what conservatism is based on. Black Americans, they were all in the comments agreeing like, yeah, we're conservative, but they would say, but we're not Republican. And someone even said, actually, if it weren't for the fact that Republicans are racist, we would be voting Republican. Which is wild, because I've seen people who've campaigned for Republicans, and they've said out loud, the reason why Republicans don't bother even going to campaign in predominantly Black neighborhoods or areas or cities is because they don't believe that they can win, because the narrative for so long has been, the smear campaign from the Democrats has been, oh, well, they're all racist, so don't even listen to them. And so when Republicans have tried to put money into campaigning with Black Americans and saying, hey, here's what we actually have some valuable things that we have to offer your community and all Americans, they've experienced Black Americans running them out of there like, we don't want to hear anything you have to say. And so they just don't think it's a good return on investment, which is the reason why they don't even bother trying to campaign in our neighborhoods at all. This is what Ice Cube was talking about when he said, listen to both parties like every other group does and see what they have to offer. And then you decide. But to just listen to the Democrats, who's the opposition, tell you that these people are racist. I mean, you're listening to the op tell you what the other party is about. Ice Cube was like, no, we need to go listen and see what they have to say. And you know what? They tried to cancel him. Every other group, they vote however they want. It's only Black Americans where it's like, you must stay over here. Why? They've already admitted it. I'm reading the comments. They're like, yeah, actually, we align more over here with Republicans, but they're racist, so that's why we don't vote for them. Who's going to tell them? Who's going to tell them that this is, you're not switching to Republican? If you did vote Republican, you would just be returning to the party of your ancestors anyway. And no, there was no party switch. I keep saying that. I mean, I don't know how many, someone needs to do like a history lesson. I keep saying someone, and you guys keep correcting me like, girl, you need to do it yourself. But I'm just like, I'm realizing like we've really done a disservice. This is why you have to self-educate.
This is how you know a lot of you don't know your facts. You're mad because they told you to be mad. The information is right there. The numbers right there. All you got to do is go do your own research.
It's wild how short people's memories are. Under Obama administration, 56 people died under ICE custody. 56! That's not a conspiracy. That's public record. According to the ACLU, under Obama, under ICE, failures of medical care, ICE malpractice. The list is long as to why and how these deaths occurred. And somehow, no mass riots. Obama deported over 3 million people. Let's not forget that, people. I say that in so many of my videos. Millions! And a lot of them were fast removals. No real hearing, no judge, no full due process. And here's the part liberals don't like to bring up. Tom Homan? Yeah, that Tom Homan? He was running enforcement under Obama. And during that time, he was given an award back in 2015 for his work with ICE. Even Democratic states allowed ICE to do their job under Obama. Here's my thing. If you're going to be mad, be consistently mad. Liberals were not mad when ICE was doing their job. All 8 years with Obama, they weren't mad in the streets. Now, I'm not saying that deaths don't matter. They always do. I'm saying the outrage only appears when it's politically convenient. aka selective outrage.
But mainstream media told you to be mad, and y'all don't realize that mainstream media is hella biased. Y'all mad at me for defending ICE. Well, you know what? Go tell that to Lake and Riley's family. Go tell that to Dakara Thompson's family. Oh, and Larisha Thompson's family. How about Jocelyn Nongare? Go tell that to countless other victims' families. So before you jump in my comments thinking you offended me with your words, at least I'm not a puppet. There's nobody pulling my strings. I think for myself. I get the information for myself. Y'all over here mad because people ain't sitting up here falling for the mainstream media lies. Man, miss me with the BS. Now carry on. Oh, and one more thing. I bet you if it was one of your family members or one of your loved ones, their stance on immigration would change. It's easy for you to hop on here and be Twitter fingers because it ain't one of your family members. Because I promise you, had it been one of your loved ones, you would be singing a different song. Dismissed.
Eve, I'm so sorry. You wrote a whole bunch of bullshit. Your mom moved to America and your family didn't want to learn English, and now you're blaming Americans for your family not learning English. If your family, my parents really didn't speak English, but they came here and learned English. They took classes, they did their part to assimilate to the new culture they moved into. If your family members didn't want to assimilate to American culture, they should have stayed wherever they speak their language. You wrote a whole bunch of nothing. You came to another country for a better opportunity and expect that better opportunity to bend to you. That's called entitlement. You and your family feel entitled. You come to America and expect Americans to bend to you as an immigrant. Do you see how dumb that sounds? If your country is so amazing and your language is so amazing, you would have stayed where you were, and there's no need for you to assimilate to English.
Our president is racist, xenophobic, Islamophobic, and we are gonna fight that.
Shut your ass up. Shut up. Number one, I'm glad that you acknowledge that he's our president of the United States of America. Number two, where's your tie at? You know, you addressing the national, the people of America, who, mind you, majority of us don't give a fuck about what's going on with your situation, nor we all agree that you all need to jet up out of here. Stop it. You all were over there stealing money. Stop it. You all were over there doing fraud shit. You need to wear a tie. You look like you want me to take you serious and you on national, what? You look like Zelensky. You like a darker version of Zelensky. Our president is racist. The way I see it, based off social media, everybody racist in this situation when it comes to you all. I'll be honest with you, I ain't seen one video. I seen one video that is very positive for you all situation over there. Ain't nobody trying to hear that shit.
You wonder how people like Barack Hussein Obama and Hillary Clinton can lie and have the whole world believe them? Well, let me show you.
Russia hacking the election to elect Trump is the end of our democracy. Votes were definitely affected. Russia hacked the election to tilt it to Mr. Trump.
The Russians definitively hacked the election.
Russia did hack the election.
No doubt. The Russians hacked the election.
Yes. Russia hacked the election.
Fact, Russia hacked the election.
President-elect Donald Trump still not sounding convinced that Russia hacked the election.
The president does not want to come to terms with the fact that the Russians hacked the election.
President Trump says he still wonders if the Russians hacked the election.
If you can get him to accept that Russia hacked the election, see if you can get him to accept who won the Civil War.
If he admits it, it casts a shadow on his victory over Hillary Clinton.
Russia hacked the election. Russia hacked the election.
Russia hacked the election.
Russia hacked the election.
Let's be clear, Russia hacked the election.
Definitively, Russia hacked the election, and Russia is doing it again now.
Election-related cyber hacking.
Cyber hacking of U.S. elections. Cyber hacking of the election.
Russia was cyber hacking the election.
Russia was cyber hacking the election.
The CIA, the FBI, NSA.
All of these intelligence organizations.
17 intelligence agencies all conclude that Russia hacked the election.
If we find out that Donald Trump just theoretically was colluding with Russia while they were hacking the election, that is completely impeachable.
This dossier alleged a conspiracy between the Trump campaign and the Russian effort to hack the election.
The director of national intelligence, the head of the National Security Agency, the head of the FBI, all of these intelligence experts saying Russia hacked the election.
The FBI, the CIA, the NSA,
the former director of national intelligence, James Clapper. I mean, they've all said this. So to believe that that's wrong, you have to believe they're all involved in an elaborate conspiracy to get Donald Trump, which seems a little far-fetched to me.
And now we find out that those were all lies, signed off by Obama. Here's my question. If they can do that, what else can they do? Or what else have they done?
Y'all want to know the real rent crises in New York, and the problem? It's buildings like this going up. How the hell can a one-bedroom in this building cost $3,350 in Flatbush, Brooklyn? Just think about it. How much money you have to make to afford a building like this in the hood? They say 30% of your monthly income should go to rent. So in order for me to afford a building like this, I gotta be making at least $11,100 a month. How many transit workers, teachers, police officers, firefighters, and other city workers can really afford that? None. How about this building right here on Linden Boulevard? If you want a 2-bedroom, you gotta be paying $4,000 a month. Who could really afford that as a city worker? None. I can guarantee you, no middle-class landlords own those buildings. Crazy thing about it is, for that price, you're getting an apartment the size of a closet. The middle class is not leaving New York to buy mansions. They're leaving New York because it's cheaper to rent a house outside of state than to rent an apartment in New York City. These politicians love talking about the poor, but they have officially abandoned the working and middle class in this city. This is not gentrification by accident. This is displacement by design. The other tricky part when it comes to affordable housing is either you make too much and you can't get the apartment, or you make too little and you can't get the apartment. There's a lot of city workers that fall into that gap right there. You cannot call it affordable housing if you need a 6-figure salary to qualify. When rent eats up 50-60% of your paycheck, that's not housing, that's economic punishment. Transit workers, sanitation workers, nurses, we're not asking for luxury, we asking for stability. New York City don't have a people problem, it has a rent problem. Politicians who never work city jobs don't understand city wages. Let's be clear in New York City, the middle class isn't shrinking, we're being evicted. And when these buildings go up, guess who has final approval? The city council. So when people ask me what politicians do I trust? None.
Trump do not sleep. He don't play by no rules. Say, will your president be awake at 3 o'clock in the morning to answer the phone if it rings? Shit, yeah, our president is up. Our president is a vampire. That motherfucker sent 23 tweets at 12:30. What the fuck is you talking about? That motherfucker is on it. Trump don't give a fuck. That motherfucker is on it, whatever the fuck it is. Every time he wake up, he just sign another piece of paper. Wait till they see this when they wake the fuck up, since they want to talk. We used to just being able to watch the news a little bit and then walk off. Not with Trump. Niggas is watching the news like it's the playoffs. Trump don't give a fuck. Trump don't follow nobody's rules. The president supposed to be at the White House. Our president is wherever the fuck he wanna be.
When it's time to go, you can choose how. You can wait for enforcement, or you can leave on your terms. The CBP Home app lets you self-deport with dignity, directly and securely. Don't wait, decide how it ends.
Crying harder, crying harder. Trump is your president. Crying harder, crying harder. Trump is your president.
On the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist!" exclamation point, "Catch!" exclamation point.
Do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do.
No one has ever been more dangerous to this country than Donald Trump, and he is a fascist to his core.
Hey, let me shut down the city! We are at war!
We're in a war right now.
We are at war.
So you have to be willing to do whatever is necessary in order to save the country.
And that's why the gloves are off.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
And yes, there are many threats to democracy. We see it with these extreme candidates.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
You can only push people so far, and then they start to take matters into their own hands.
What the American public want is for us to bring actual weapons to this bar fight. This is an actual fight.
You know, this is literally call to arms.
The MAGA movement is a threat.
But Michelle says that, when they go low, we go high. No.
With all due respect, if they go low, we don't go high.
When they go low, we kick them.
We take them to the mud and choke them out.
And make sure that they stay down. And you know what? Kick them when they're down, because they deserve it.
Get up in the face of some Congress people.
We are going to be in your face. We are going to be on your...
We have to fight this in the streets.
And we're going to fight it in the streets.
It's time to step out of your comfort zone and step out into the streets.
To our Republican colleagues, if you do not see the light, we will bring the fire. Resist! You and your little friend off of Twitter. Y'all about to find out.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
He's not going to have a third term. He may not finish this term.
That's the last few days you woke up thinking there might be news. Just saying. Just saying. There will be news sometime. Just so you know, there will be news.
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That would be the most important thing. Most important thing is my faith in my life.
But if you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.